Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Hey there. Good to be back.
So glad you're here with us. We've got another source you sent over, and we're ready to jump in.
Yep. The goal's always the same. Dig into the material, pull out the key stuff, the insights.
Get you informed without drowning you in, endless detail.
Exactly. We're navigating what you give us, trying to connect those dots, hopefully find some aha moments for you.
And for this deep dive, the source is an excerpt from a YouTube transcript. It's titled, When Grim Reapers and Kamikazes Clashed.
Okay, wow. That title alone tells you we're heading into something pretty intense.
Absolutely. The source throws us straight into the action, October 26, 1942. Think huge naval battle, planes everywhere, Pacific, World War II.
A critical moment.
Right. And our mission here is to really unpack what this specific source describes. We're going to focus on one pilot, his squadron.
And kind of see the chaos and courage of the battle through their eyes, yeah.
Exactly. Use their experience as a lens.
Okay, let's set that scene then. The source kicks off with alarms screaming on the USS Enterprise.
Yeah. Pilots scrambling, running flat out for their planes, the F4F Wildcats.
Tough planes. The Navy workhorses then. Carrier fighters.
And right there, leading the charge, is Lieutenant Stanley Vejtasa. He's the squadron commander.
Commands 8 Wildcats, right? Nicknamed the Grim Reapers.
That's them. And the context here is crucial, according to the source. There's this huge American task force out there.
21 ships, including 2 carriers, the Enterprise, where they're launching from, and the USS Hornet. Extremely valuable assets.
And they're under attack. A big attack. But Vejtasa's squadron, they're launching late.
Late to the party, the source says, which is not where you want to be when carriers are threatened.
No kidding. They're scrambling, pushing those engines, trying to gain altitude fast, but the enemy's already close.
How close?
45 miles out and closing. So the defense is already compromised. They're playing catch-up from the word go.
Man, the pressure. And the source mentions something about Vejtasa's past.
It does, yeah. Quick background, but important. 5 months earlier, he'd had this wild encounter. Flew a Dauntless bomber against 3 Japanese Zeros.
Zeros, the really nimble fighters.
Yeah.
In a bomber. How did that end?
He actually survived, damaged one of them. It was apparently incredible airmanship, earned him a big reputation for skill, for grit, got him promoted.
Okay, so he's not just any squadron leader. He's got this proven record under fire.
Exactly. Adds a layer to his presence here, leading his men into this unfolding chaos. Hundreds, maybe thousands of lives depending on them and the other pilots.
So they're climbing, desperate for altitude.
But that first wave of Japanese planes, they aren't waiting.
No. The source says Aichi D-3A dive bombers, Vals, the Allies called them. They just emerged from the clouds.
And Vejtasa sees them instantly. Realizes, oh no, we're too low.
They're going to fly right over the top of them.
Yeah, no chance to intercept effectively. He orders max power, give it everything, try to climb into them.
But it's just
too late. The source is blunt about it. They just don't have the altitude that first wave gets through their screen.
Ugh. You can feel the frustration just reading it. So the Vals press their attack. Target. The USS Hornet.
And the scene around the Hornet, as described, it's hellish. Anti-aircraft fire erupting everywhere, flak, tracers, machine guns firing from the carrier deck.
A wall of defensive fire.
But the Vals dive through it. And Vejtasa and his pilots lower down. They have to watch as bombs hit the Hornet's flight deck.
Oh, man.
The source gives Vejtasa's reaction just raw. God damn it, we were too late.
Just watching helplessly. But it gets worse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The source mentions one particular Val.
It does. This one plane wasn't intercepted, wasn't shot down, and it doesn't drop a bomb. It just keeps diving straight for the Hornet's Island, the tower structure.
Oh, no. A deliberate crash.
Sailors on deck see this dark shape getting closer, firing everything they have at it. But it keeps coming.
And then impact.
Catastrophic impact. It slams into the Hornet. Massive explosion, fires, casualties. The source even mentions Admiral George D. Murray, a high-ranking officer, was right there helping the wounded.
Incredible detail. And Vejtasa sees this happen.
Watching this explosion, this horror unfold below him, feeling that weight, failure, even though they were late. It's brutal.
But in a battle like that, there's no time to dwell. What happens next? The threat isn't over.
Not at all. Focus snaps immediately. New enemy contacts coming in, 230 degrees. This time, they're heading for their carrier, the USS Enterprise.
New targets. Got to shift gears instantly.
Vejtasa's order is sharp, cuts right through the shock. Leave the ones that have already dropped and assemble over there. More are coming. We have to protect the Enterprise.
Smart tactical call. Don't chase planes that have already done their damage. Focus on the immediate threat.
Right. So they pull away from the burning Hornet, try to regroup, climbing again, trying to get that altitude back they lost or didn't have.
And here comes the next wave.
4 Aichi aircraft, probably more Vals pop out of the clouds.
But this time, Vejtasa's squadron is ready. Or readier.
Readier, yeah. They're in a better position. No hesitation this time. They go right at them. The command. Protect the ships at all costs.
Vejtasa leads the charge.
Leads by example, opens fire immediately, hits a fuel tank on one Val. Whoosh, it just ignites.
One down. What about the others?
The Japanese formation scatters a bit. Vejtasa, he maneuvers sharply, gets on the tail of another Val, lines it up, shoots it down too. The source talks about his guns raining bullets, gives you that sense of intense, focused fire. His combat instincts are fully engaged now.
2 down from that wave by him alone. Incredible intensity, but the attacks keep coming, right? Different types.
Yeah, just then a radio call comes in. Lieutenant Leroy texts Harris.
What does he see?
Spots another formation, but lower down, torpedo bombers.
Okay, that's a major threat too. Maybe even more so to a carrier. Kates, the Nakajima B5Ns.
That's the likely type, yeah.
Yeah.
Extremely dangerous with those torpedoes. So Vejtasa and Harris, they immediately dive on this new threat.
Coming down on them fast.
Closing rapidly, guns blazing. Vejtasa, again, precision shooting, nails one, sends it into the water.
The rest scatter.
They do. Vejtasa and Harris pursue, picking off targets. They manage to shoot down another cake between them, the source says, while the others bug out, try to escape.
But even then, Vejtasa's thinking ahead.
Always. Mid-fight, basically, he's telling his squadron over the radio, save ammo, there's more coming.
Wow. Tactical awareness, even in the middle of a dogfight.
Yeah.
He's anticipating the next wave already.
Exactly. Knows this probably isn't the end of it. So there's this brief lull, maybe just a minute or two. Vejtasa climbs again, scanning, watching his pilots maybe finish off stragglers.
And then he sees it.
What the source calls what he feared. The final and potentially the most dangerous wave.
Don't tell me. More torpedo bombers.
A full formation. 8 B-5N Kates, flying steadily, purposefully, straight for the USS Enterprise.
8 of them. All focused on his carrier. This is it. The critical moment.
His radio call is urgent, loud. Torpedo bombers, formation of 8 coming toward the Enterprise. No time to waste. He pushes his throttle to the max.
Leading the interception again.
Yeah, rallying his remaining pilots. His call, let's dance. Sort of grim, determined challenge.
Down below, the Enterprise must be lighting up the sky with AA fire.
Oh, absolutely. Flak bursts everywhere around the incoming Kates, but Vejtasa knows up close that it might not be enough against 8 determined planes getting through.
So he has to fly into his own ship's flak.
He does. Presses the attack right through the friendly fire, gets glued to the tail of one Kate. The source describes this amazing bit of airmanship.
Go happens.
The Kate tries to lose him, ducks into a cloud. But Vejtasa anticipates, like he calculates where it has to come out.
And he's waiting for it.
Right there, as it emerges. That's pure skill and experience. He hits its wing, sets it on fire, has to break off them, probably because he's really low on ammo now.
But he got one. Did he get more?
In that same charge, amidst the chaos, the source credits him with shooting down 2 more Kates himself.
3 out of the 8.
Sure.
By himself in that final push.
That's what the source indicates. By disrupting that formation so heavily, taking out nearly half of them personally, he dramatically reduced the danger to the Enterprise.
Incredible. Surely that's the end of his fight. He must be out of ammo.
You'd think so. And he probably thinks the main battle is winding down. But then, the source describes this one last chilling encounter. He spots a lone Kate bomber. Still flying.
Just one left.
Seems like it, or at least one he spots that's still a threat. He glances at his ammo counters.
Empty.
Almost. Maybe just a few rounds left. Enough for one last burst, maybe.
Does he take the shot?
He does. Opens fire, hits the Kate again and again. It catches fire, flames streaming back.
Okay, now it's going down.
But it doesn't. That's the horrifying part. It's burning, badly damaged, but it keeps flying straight towards the Enterprise. And Vejtasa realizes.
He's out of ammo. Completely.
Completely dry.
Yeah.
And he watches this burning wreck just continue. On course for the carrier. He knows its intent now.
A kamikaze. Even before they were officially a large-scale tactic.
It seems so. And his feeling, the source implies, is just sheer terror. He can't stop it with guns.
What can he even do?
He makes this desperate, almost unbelievable decision. His last resort. He decides he's going to try and ram it.
Ram it. With his own plane.
Not head-on. He plans to try and use his propeller to chew up its tail control surfaces, to literally cut its tail off. It's unbelievably risky, almost suicidal. He starts the maneuver.
Does he reach it?
Before he can, the burning Kate suddenly pitches, flips over, and dives steeply downwards. And the source mentions a phrase was heard, maybe intercepted radio, maybe something else. Live the Emperor.
Chilling. Confirms the intent right at the end.
Absolutely. But it doesn't hit the Enterprise.
Where does it crash?
It crashes into one of the escort ships, the destroyer USS Smith. Causes terrible damage and casualties there. A tragedy, but it missed the carrier.
And Vejtasa. After all that.
He's out of ammo, probably low on fuel, plane likely damaged from the intense fighting. He has no choice but to break off, find the Enterprise, and land. His fight is over.
But what a fight, the impact of what he and his squadron did.
It was huge. The source is very clear. The Enterprise survived that day, largely intact, because Vejtasa and the Grim Reapers intercepted those crucial torpedo attacks, especially that last big wave.
He really did become a hero that day. Saved the ship, saved countless lives.
No question. The source confirms it. His actions were recognized as incredibly heroic and decisive.
Did he make it through the war?
He did. Survived the war, went on to have a very long, very distinguished naval career, highly decorated.
An amazing story pulled from just that one source excerpt.
Yeah. So wrapping up this deep dive, what really strikes me is how the single source lets us zoom right in, past the maps and arrows of the big battle, right into the cockpit.
You feel that intensity, right? The skill, the leadership, but also the sheer desperation in moments like that last Kamikaze encounter.
It's that contrast, isn't it? The massive scale of the battle, hundreds of planes, huge ships, versus the split-second life-or-death choices Vejtasa is making.
And how those individual choices, those moments of skill or bravery, directly shape the outcome of the big picture. His actions clearly saved the Enterprise.
It really underscores the human factor in all of this, the fear, the courage, the quick thinking under pressure that you just can't get from a strategic overview.
Which makes you wonder, doesn't it? Thinking about history.
Yeah.
How much of it hinges on these individual moments, these personal stories of bravery or sacrifice or even just sheer luck?
Yeah. And how many other stories like Vejtasa's are out there, maybe tucked away in letters, diaries, old transcripts, waiting to give us that human perspective on these massive events? What else is waiting to be discovered in different sources?
Definitely something to think about.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.